Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 23 of the In From Japan podcast, the podcast where we talk about the latest news on Japan-developed games and other things in relation to them, now on Spotify, Podbean, and YouTube, other podcast services to be determined. Nailed it. I'm your host, Erroll Moss, and with me, back from the dead, is my co-host, the phenomenon from Suriname, Jason Corder.
Hey.
And, before we get into the big PlayStation 5 reveal stuff, we're going to do things like we usually do and talk about the Japanese games we've been playing. So, I'll go first. Well, it's going to be kind of a mix since we've both been playing it, but...
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I'm still playing Final Fantasy XIV, and you're playing Final Fantasy XIV. Everybody's playing... Not everybody. More people are playing Final Fantasy XIV. It's very annoying that job quests are every 5 levels where I'm at. And then once you get to a certain level, it's just every 2 levels. Just because when you get to a certain point, it's like you have to do, like, you have to run dungeons over and over to get the best experience. And then to get the best experience for your class, you have to wait until the duty roulette has your class. Which yesterday I logged in twice, and both times it didn't have that, so I was like, whatever. And then today, this morning, I logged in and it had that. I was like, okay, I'll do a dungeon run real quick before I get into doing other stuff.
But which class are you using then?
So, I'm Dark Knight.
Okay. Well, Dark Knight...
It's not the class that's the problem, it's just the systems around everything in general.
I mean, as a Dark Knight, you'd function as a tank, right?
Yeah. It's not that I'm, like, annoyed with. It's more the system of that, like, it doesn't matter what class you are. Just when you're at a certain level, you just have to repeat dungeons over and over again. It is good practice when you're using a new class, but, like, there's that whole thing where if you're in an older dungeon, you can't use certain attacks because of the level sync, and then that kind of gets annoying. So you have to maybe fix your hotbar around a little bit.
Have you tried doing the hunting logs or any of the side quests?
I did a couple side quests a while back. Right now, I'm just mostly doing duty roulette stuff, because that's been the best way to get experience. And I'm on my next job quest now.
Okay.
So, I have a little while until I have to worry about that.
Because the hunting log gives you a pretty decent chunk of XP for completing it at every level. So that might be a good way of making progress in the game.
Yeah, I'll have to try that. Have you been liking Final Fantasy XIV?
Yeah. I have also been playing Final Fantasy XIV. Still on my dummy account because Square Enix, as they have...
They don't like you, do they?
I don't know if they don't like me or something messed up my registration, because they can't link any email address I've given them to the main PlayStation account I have. So even though I own the complete edition on my main account, I still can't access it. So luckily, the PlayStation Store has a Days of Play sale going on, and Shadowbringers is on sale for about $22, $20. Anyway, it's 7% off. So that, coupled with the free base game I got a few weeks ago, I guess I'll just play on my dummy account for now. But I've been making decent progress. I think level 23 now. Haven't really had that much time to play because my full-time job demands so much of my time. But yeah, I'm still enjoying it.
What are you talking about? This is your full-time job. No, I'm just kidding.
Wish. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm taking it on my own pace, or at my own pace. I've been playing duties recently, which is fun.
Duty
yeah,
roulette.
And I'm a healer, so I'm always in demand, and I don't really have to.
Oh yeah, see, that's the good thing about being tank too, is because it's I'm a tank, and then my friend who I play with is a healer. So like we did that so that we never have to wait a long time.
Yeah. Oh, at first I wanted to be DPS or tank, but after I heard you say that it's pretty much all everyone does pick when they start the game, I figured, okay, might as well do a healer because it really fits my personality well. And I also like hanging back and being at a far enough distance that I don't get wrecked by enemies.
Healer can be stressful though, because you have to manage, healing everybody, make sure nobody else does something dumb.
Oh, definitely. Last night I had a tank that just ran into battle without coordinating, so I was just doing.
I mean, you can do that. You have to make sure your party is ready for that, especially when it's people you don't know. You at least give them a sign before you rush in. Like, if they're all standing there looking at you, it's like, okay, it means you can rush in. But if you just go and they're like all confused, or you do the mistake I did once and you pull in way too many enemies at once, and I was like, oh, whoops, you guys couldn't handle that.
It's a good thing I'm a healer then, because I don't have to get anyone's attention. I just have to make sure the tank stays alive.
Yeah. Well, kind of have to make sure everybody stays alive.
Well, I'm not too worried about the rest because they can handle themselves. And so far, I've come across people that have their own healing abilities, so I don't have to do that much work. So I just tend to focus on the tank. And I also have a secondary skill called Medica that heals the whole party.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot.
Yeah. I have, in addition to Final Fantasy XIV, I have also been playing Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, or at least I started it. I played like the first hour or so, got past the first boss. It's kind of weird since it's like MMO like combat, and then switching between that and Final Fantasy XIV. And at first I was like, I don't know if I like this style of gameplay, but then once I got used to the systems, I'm like, okay, no, I get how to do this now.
Right.
It's just certain functions I just didn't know how to activate. I thought there was like a specific way to do it, and then it's just like, oh no, you just have to select it on the screen. You just I just didn't realize because like the main attack button, when you get a certain, I forgot about how, I'm not sure completely how the mechanic works, but when your party characters all use the attack of a same type in a row, you can get like a chain attack, and so it'll show up on your thing, and then you just like push the up arrow where the attack thing is, and then it'll make you do a chain attack once you press A on that. And I didn't realize that. So I was like, wait, how do I get a chain attack? And then it finally clicked. I was like, oh wow, I was not looking, was I?
Wait, you've never played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 then?
No, I've only played like an hour of the original Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Like I got to the first cave, and then I was like, I never played it again.
Oh, that makes sense.
And now I finally passed that in the remake.
Yeah. No, I remember.
Oh, also. Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I remember from my time playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2 that I was at such a loss because I couldn't figure out how to make the combat work for me, because there are so many systems layered on top of each other that it becomes kind of difficult to keep up with it all, and you have to stay on top of who's fighting who, what kind of attacks you're using.
I think they made it a little better in this one.
I hope so, because I had to look up multiple guides online just to figure out how to be effective in combat. And yeah, it's not that much fun when you have to look up guides for something the game's supposed to tell you, but I digress.
Yeah, I think the game now does a pretty good job of that, of telling you how things work.
Okay.
But the only problem is in the intro, it's one of those things where like something pops up every once in a while. And it's like, I understand, like, they have to do it that way, but, like, it's one of those things where it's just annoying, but you just gotta deal with it. Also, I don't think I talked about this before, But previously, I had been using a DualShock 4 for PC games.
Yeah.
Because
you mentioned that.
I didn't have a controller. And it was fine, but for some games, it just wouldn't map quite right. Or some indie games, it just doesn't really register at all, or you have to do it manually and stuff. So for my birthday, which just passed last week, I got myself an Xbox One controller, wired though, because I don't want to deal with batteries, and I can connect it directly to the computer, and that's been a lot better.
Yeah, because I mean Windows, Microsoft, pretty seamless.
Yeah,
but I'm curious.
I'm like, why didn't I do this?
Didn't you install the driver software for the PlayStation 4 controller, the DualShock 4 controller driver?
I don't know if when I connected it, it might have installed something.
No, because
it did that whole
there's a separate driver bundle called DX4, if I'm not mistaken, and you have to install that separately from whatever interface you're using, be it Steam or GOG.
Well, I'd rather have the Xbox controller anyway for my PC stuff. It's a lot easier to use. Not that I have a problem with the DualShock 4 in general. Like, I'll use it for the PS4 and stuff, but like, I'm just really glad I got that Xbox controller.
You have options. You have options.
Yeah, but it's like I don't prefer the DualShock 4 over other stuff or anything.
No, I get that.
Just when I tried the Switch Pro controller, that was weird.
Yeah, because Nintendo doesn't really want you playing with your Switch controller on PC.
It was a third party. It's a Power A. Well, they're both Power A, the Xbox One and the Switch one. But yeah, it was weird.
Have you been playing anything else?
I see you've also been playing more Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah, I decided to get back into it because it's been sitting in my Switch library for so long, and I just have to finish it at some point. Also because I was playing Final Fantasy 14, and they have more or less the same art design and or art direction, more like, and same world or similar worlds. And I just was in the mood to play Final Fantasy 12, and as could be predicted, if you stay away from a game long enough, you forget pretty much everything.
Oh, you forget everything?
Yeah, so I was kind of trying to piece the plot together, and I looked up a wiki guide and read up on it, and I remembered what happened, but seeing where I was in the story and playing it myself, I just felt so disconnected. So caution to the wise, don't stop playing a game for too long, or don't stop playing a game for too long, because you will mess up your own memory and your own flow into a game. And I've also bought recently, because it's now on sale during the Summer of Games eShop sale. I just bought Dragon Quest XI finally. So
yeah, Dragon Quest XI S Definitive Edition.
Yeah, but I don't know when I'll ever have time, because Final Fantasy XIV is a full-time commitment. Writing about games is a full-time commitment, and my normal daytime stuff is a full-time commitment. So we'll see.
So many games, so little time.
Yeah, I should just.
It's like you go into like this lockdown thing. It's like, finally I can get games out of my backlog, and then all these sales happen, and you're like, okay, well, I'll get a few more games, but then it keeps happening, and then your backlog just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and then there's an indie bundle with like 700 games on. I didn't get that one. Don't worry, I didn't get that.
It is for a good cause.
Other people should get that though,
it is for a good
because
cause.
It's for a great cause. Yes,
in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. I think. Let me get this right, because I don't want to be messing it up. But in any case, it's about 1,000 games. It's for a good cause.
Oh wow! Yeah, they just keep increasing it.
And it's just $5, and it goes to multiple things. Wait, it's the bundle for racial justice and equality. And the proceeds go to the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund and the Community Bail Fund, and it will be split 50-50.
Yeah.
Some highlights include Celeste, Night in the Woods, Overland, etc. Not no Japanese games.
Yeah, I
per
definitely
se.
recommend Celeste and Night in the Woods.
Yeah,
For sure.
but yeah, check it out and donate if you can.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's about it. I really should stop.
Yeah, that's what we've been playing.
Yeah, I should say we should really stop buying anything for the foreseeable future, and that will tie.
Oh
into-
yeah, I'm not. I told you, I'm not gonna buy anything except for new games at this point.
Oh, well, our main topic will.
And the only reason I buy the new games is so I can be the part of the conversation when they're released.
Yeah, I get it.
You know, because depending on the length, especially if it's a short game, because if it's a short game, you know, use a couple days to. And I don't try to rush through it either. If it's a short game, I just use a week to get through it, and I'm like, okay, cool, I played that one.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
It doesn't help that there are a bunch of free games all the time too now.
Well, it's part of being an adult.
Not that I'm complaining about free games. I'm just it's hard to manage a backlog right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, in from Japan. J-list real quick. There's this Looney Tunes inspired Pokemon cartoon that was out last week, I think, which I thought was just kind of neat, and that's about it.
Wow.
There was an image of Mila Jovovich in her Monster Hunter movie costume, but I don't want to get into that.
Why not? What do you have against Mila Jovovich?
Oh, I have nothing against her. I have something against those terrible Resident Evil movies she's in.
I wouldn't necessarily call them terrible. They're just not in the same vein as most of the video games, or what you can.
The first one is all right.
Sure, if you're looking for something more straight horror, but
worse and worse and worse.
I'd say the later movies are pretty decent action flicks, cheesy action flicks. If you're looking
Get out.
that kind of entertainment. But it's nothing on par with the atmosphere of the canon games.
Yeah. Okay, so recommended content. We have the Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected opens up possibilities by Jenny Latta over at Siliconera. The video game industry hits a breaking point by Brendan Sinclair over at US Gamer. Acts of the Blood God, how RPGs have handled social commentary through the years. I was actually talking about this with Cameron last week, with our main topic, because of how people are oh, I hate how Square Enix it's getting all political now. I'm like, have you played a JRPG? Do you pay attention to the story?
I've seen some discussion online, and people have said that they want to be distracted from real world politics and goings on by engaging with fictional politics.
That's the problem. Everything is based on real world things.
Yeah, in some sense,
in some way, somewhat one way or another.
Yeah, I mean you can't escape it, but some people just feel so disconnected from whatever's happening outside and they managed to kid themselves long enough, but I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. We have how Erica Lindbeck gave Jesse Raspberry a new voice in Final Fantasy VII Remake by Matthew Ford over at US Gamer. The Man Who Made the NES by Martin Robinson over at Eurogamer. Monolith Soft and Nintendo on why Xenoblade Chronicles was a turning point for the studio and for JRPGs by Katie McCarthy over at US Gamer. Danny Trejo's Animal Crossing Island. It's like a little tour of his island. It's on Gary Whitta's YouTube channel. Yakuza's Toshihiro Nagoshi. The Heart of Sega is an Indie Company by Eric Van Allen over at US Gamer. Bandai America talks about Tamagotchis and the localization process by Jenny Latta over at Siliconera. And new Twitter account lists games that let you dethrone God by Ethan Gag over at Kotaku, or you could just check the Twitter account.
That's pretty much every Final Fantasy then.
And Persona and, whatever JRPG, what have you.
So I think we should then.
Now it's time for the news rundown.
Yeah.
The bearer of bad news is back.
Yeah.
That's my lightning strike noise.
Back with my death sight. Okay, to start off, we have Final Fantasy 14.
That's why the dogs are barking. They heard the thunder.
Yeah, they're scared now. Well, Final Fantasy 14 Fan Festival 2020 North America cancelled due to COVID-19. This is by Sato for Silicon Era. The North American Final Fantasy 14 Fan Festival was expected to take place this November, but Square Enix cancelled the event due to ongoing COVID-19 concerns. The announcement comes from the letter from the producer LXIII. Did I say that right? I'm pretty bad with my Roman numerals. They don't go.
The third?
No, I think it's.
Wait, let me see.
What does LXIII mean?
Oh, this is this person's name?
No,
what?
It's.
Is this like their pen name?
No, it's what issue of the producer's letter this would be. So LXIII.
L. I don't know what L is.
It's the 63rd. L is 50, X is 10, so 50 plus X
10.
equals 60. It's wrong.
Wouldn't it be the 53rd?
No, like L is 50, X is 10, so 50 plus 10 is 60, and then the 3 I.
All right, well, everybody, look forward to Final Fantasy 63 coming to the PlayStation.
No. It's the
100.
It's the 63rd letter from the producer, in which Naoki Yoshida explained the situation. The Final Fantasy 14 Fan Festival was originally scheduled for November 6th till 7th, 2020, but it will no longer take place. After plenty of deliberation, Yoshi P and the devs decided to cancel the event. Is there any word of another event coming? No.
They're thinking about doing something in 2021, but unfortunately, they're examining. It says possible dates, cities, and venues for a festival sometime in the first half of 2021. Yeah. Unfortunately, this was going to be in San Diego, where I'm at, so I was super excited for this. But of course, with all the pandemic and everything,
it'll come back to San Diego one of these days. You'll be fine.
I mean, I hope so, but it might be a while.
You'll be fine.
I mean, because why would they be looking at other venues if they could just... They should just stay where they were going to be originally, and then do a different city for the next one.
But you have to consider their schedule, the city's schedule, when it comes to holding live events, and what other content they'd be bringing out around that time. So there's
the convention center. Yeah, their schedule, sure, but the convention center doesn't usually have stuff that time of year, except for TwitchCon the past 2 years, which would have been before that.
Yeah, but like I said, you don't really know what else factors into their decision. So
that's true.
Time will tell.
We'll see. Hopefully it comes back.
Okay. Next up, we have Sony Europe received a 3.5 million fine over PlayStation Store refund issues. This is by Jenny Lada for Silicon Era. Issues regarding PlayStation Store refunds, or to be more accurate, the lack thereof, have resulted in Sony being given a hefty fine in Australia. As noted by the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission site, Sony Europe now has a major fine hanging over it after the country's federal court for the treatment of customers. After being found to have made misleading representations that suggested that company didn't have to offer refunds or that consumer guarantee rights expired, the 3.5 million fine was assigned, and they are sure to thank Gizmodo, who are the original authors of this news item. So yeah, be careful what you do in your professional business, since the various committees and commissions are keeping a close eye on you. 3.5 is fine. I might have to ask for a refund for my main account's Final Fantasy Complete Edition. So
get your
Yay.
Get your refund.
Yay.
Also, game companies, get your refund issues together, because like Nintendo has a big problem with that, and
The thing is, they don't want to part with the money.
they have enough.
Yeah, they disagree with that.
Speaking of Nintendo,
Nintendo account breach affected almost twice as many people as previously thought. This is by Tom Phillips for Eurogamer. There's also an update. Company will continue working to safeguard our platforms and our customers' data. Okay, and there's another update. Nintendo has sent through this new statement. We would like to provide an update on the recent incidents of unauthorized access to some Nintendo accounts. While there is no evidence that Nintendo's databases, servers, or services were breached, and while we can confirm that no credit card information was compromised, we took precautionary measures to help safeguard our customers. We discontinued the ability to use a Nintendo Network ID to sign into a Nintendo account, and we reached out to all customers whose account we had reason to believe were accessed without authorization to help them take additional steps to protect themselves. So, if you haven't been notified by Nintendo that something's fishy, you have nothing to worry about, but it's still distressing that so many accounts were breached. Okay, I think that's it for the bad news. So, Erroll, take it away. I mean, if you're still there, I mean, I can still take this news because it's Tales of. Want me to take the Tales of?
sorry, I had to tell my nephew to be a little quieter.
It's fine. Okay, do you want to take this Tales of Festival news?
You can take the first two stories.
Okay, cool. Tales of Festival 2020 stream set for June 14th. Stronger announcements planned for March 2021. This is by Lucas White for Silicon Era. We've known for a while that Tales of Arise is on the way, although whether or not the COVID-19 pandemic has affected its planned 2020 release is still unknown. We've also seen upcoming mobile games Tales of Castoria hit with a slight delay for obvious reasons. As many other events in, around, and outside of video games have been postponed and cancelled, so too has the Tales of Festival for this year. Instead, Bandai Namco will be having a more fun-oriented Tales of Festival 2020 stream later this month on June 14, 2020. Then a more substantial event is set to run on March 7, 2021. And this is thanks to DualShockers. So it's a bummer that the fan festival won't be taking place, but there's a digital event coming and a replacement event on March 7th, 2021.
I wonder if we'll get a Tales of Arise release date.
Well, that's
on the 14th.
Well, that's what they said. They don't, or at least we don't know at this point if the global pandemic has affected them.
We don't even know what the original release date would have been, though, either. So
precisely,
it's really hard to gauge things like that because there's this whole. I didn't put a news story about it in here, but they had a Yakuza 7 English gameplay the other day, but no release date, and it's still slated for 2020. So it's kind of like. I wonder if they're not sure when they'll release it yet, or if they just haven't announced it yet, or just a mixture of both, or what.
Or they were probably
it's interesting
waiting on the PS5 reveal to maybe make an announcement that this is also going to be available on PS5, or there's going to be smart delivery.
That's true.
Because it's running on Unreal Engine, and as we know, Unreal Engine has pretty good scalability, and they have already announced that they're working with PS5, so...
Yeah, so I do wonder how many games are waiting for... or were waiting.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to hear about, pretty soon that they're also coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X or whatever.
Never know. Next up, we have.
We will know.
Next up, we have
Soon enough.
PC Gaming Show 2020 will include news about Xseed, Sega, and Atlas Games. This is by Jenny Lada for Silicon Era. Now that the PC Gaming Show 2020 has a newly set air date, a list of some of the companies that will be showing off new PC games has appeared. Most notably, a few companies that specialize in Japanese titles are all on the docket to appear. To be more specific, there will be some sort of Xseed, Sega, and Atlas Games presence at the event, which is curious because Sega and Atlas are part of the same company now, so it's interesting that they're mentioned separately.
And there's also very heavy rumors. Well, okay, it was kind of confirmed, not officially, but that Persona 4 Golden will be coming to PC.
So Internet Sleuths did some digging and they found some assets in the Steam database, which seemed to be confirming that Persona 4 Golden will be announced for PC, and some have even gone.
But what's interesting about that? No, sorry. Finish what you were saying.
So some have even gone as far as mentioning that Persona 3 will be also making its way to
that's what I was gonna
PC
say.
in some form.
But we don't even have unofficial confirmation of that, and that's unfortunate because Persona 3 is the one I kind of want more.
Why is that?
I don't have anything against Persona 4 Golden specifically, except for it does make some unnecessary additions. But I mean, you could say that about any updated game, to be honest. But just because I just like Persona 3 better than 4.
I mean,
I don't know.
It's fine if you like one better than the other.
It's just a preference. Yeah, it's really just a preference thing. It's not like a huge I hate Persona 4 because
I get it. Persona 5 is one of my favorite games of the recent generation. I loved it. I poured about 100 hours into it, and I'm looking forward to playing Persona 5 Royal. But I still think Persona 4 Golden is a bit better because it feels a bit more cohesive in atmosphere and in its characterization of the Scooby Gang, shall I say?
The Scooby Gang?
So it's fine if you like Persona 3 better than Persona 4. We all have our preferences.
Yeah, it's just a preference thing. They're all good, at least gameplay-wise. Some of the story stuff hasn't aged that well, just in the past few years, especially. I've seen a lot of people talking about that on Twitter.
Yeah, yesterday I saw some discussion going on about how Persona as a series hasn't really interrogated the themes it mentions. It's always we have to replace bad actors, and then we ourselves have to step into society, and then we'll all be fine. I think this was mentioned on the Acts of the Blood God podcast by US Gamer. And yeah, I have to agree. They just remove the bad guys and just go on with their lives. It's not a real paradigm shift in who they are as people and what that means as a society.
Yeah. But anyways, you can still be excited for Persona 4 Golden coming to... What was it? Was it coming to Steam?
Yeah, probably to Steam.
I think that's how they found it.
Yeah, because it was in the Steam database.
Okay, next story. I'll take these.
Obviously. I wonder why.
Dragon Quest Rivals is marching to Steam later this month in Japan by Sato over at Silicon Era. Dragon Quest Rivals for PC has only been available through Yahoo Games in Japan. That's weird. But Square Enix announced that it will launch a Steam version later this month. Current Dragon Quest Rivals players will get to carry over save data into the Steam version when it launches sometime later this month. That being said, Square Enix recommends those who are interested in trying out the Steam version to data link their accounts. Moreover, the Yahoo Games version will end service on June 23rd, 2020, so players will no longer have access to accounts from that point onward. So Dragon Quest Rivals, it's kind of like it's the Dragon Quest card game. this article compares it to Shadowverse and Hearthstone. Features a bunch of familiar monsters from the series as the cards that you send out to battle. You can get a demo of it on Switch, but it's in Japanese. But I'm just wondering if it's on Steam. If it's going on Steam, I wonder if that means a localization is incoming.
There's a pretty good chance.
I would hope so, because I've been wanting. This is the one card game besides like Yu-Gi-Oh that I've wanted to play.
Card games are pretty popular in the West, so there's a pretty good chance of it making its way to the West.
Especially on a platform like Steam, which I feel like is more popular in the West than in Japan, but I'd have to get. I might be. I have no idea how popular Steam is in Japan.
Yeah.
So I'd have to get a check on that. And the next story is about another Dragon Quest game. Dragon Quest Tact launches this summer in Japan. Pre-registration now available. Dragon Quest. This is from Sal Romano Akamatsu. Dragon Quest Tact will launch for iOS and Android this summer in Japan. Publisher Square Enix and developer Aiming announced. That's an interesting name.
They have the first names, trust me.
Launched today via the game's official website. Users can pre-register via email or Twitter. It's a tactical RPG that I think we talked about a while ago when it was first announced. No word on a localization of this one, but I could see this one happening just because they recently localized another Dragon Quest mobile game, Dragon Quest of the Stars, and also the one, what is it called? The Dragon Quest something on 3DS, which is another strategic game. Probably won't be around for that much longer because it's on 3DS. I'm going to take this other story too, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
So...
Go ahead. Sengoku Basara.
Oh, jeez. Sengoku Basara 4 Sumeragi Anniversary Edition gets its first trailer. Okay, that's not the whole title. So the first thing is, are you ready, guys? Sengoku, because that is a reference to Date Masamune from Sengoku Basara. Yep. Sengoku Basara 4 Sumeragi is making a return with Sengoku Basara 4 Sumeragi Anniversary Edition next month in Japan. The original came out back in July 2015 for PS4 and PS3. The game was an expansion to 4, which released on the PS3 in January 2014. The game is essentially a bundle that features the game plus 66 pieces of DLC to go with it. So it's going to be physical and digital. Since it's a special release, the fully colored book, I guess it comes with a book, will come with exclusive interviews with the creators and plenty of character artwork. And that has a bunch of stuff from a bunch of costumes from previous games. The reason I put this on is because, one, I didn't put it on the other day, and also because we've only had like 2 Sengoku Basara games.
Yeah.
One, the first one, which was localized into something called Devil Kings. And because they were, cause it's by Capcom, and I guess the Western division wanted people to think it was like Devil May Cry, so they used the same font for their like box art. And then we got Sengoku Basara Samurai Heroes on the PS3, and then that was the last one we got.
Yeah.
That was like the only true Sengoku Basara we ever got. So I'm hoping maybe we could get this in the future.
Do you think that's likely? Because Sengoku Basara as a property is...
I don't know, because we never got... I don't think we ever got Sengoku Basara 3. No, I think 3 is the one we got. It's weird, because it's one of those things where the one we have doesn't have a number. Or neither of the ones we have a number. Because we get Sengoku Basara Samurai Heroes, which I don't think is 3.
Well, let me look at it.
Let me check real quick.
Sengoku Basara Heroes is Sengoku Basara.
Sengoku Basara Samurai Heroes.
Doesn't...
Yeah, it was Sengoku Basara 3. Okay. But then we had a prequel one. There was a Sengoku Basara 4. Yeah, so because 4 has been out for a while. Yeah, because it was out on PS3, and we never got 4 before, so it's like, Well, maybe this is the version we can hopefully finally get localized. That's what I'm hoping. If you don't know what Sengoku Basara is, it's basically like Dynasty Warriors, but way more over the top.
No, I know. But
no, I'm saying for the audience,
okay.
not for. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I mean, like one of the main characters, Dante Masamune's, he uses 6 swords, one between each of his like knuckles.
Yeah, pretty
and lightning powers.
Zoro energy going on there.
Double it, yeah. He's also, I believe, he is also in the. I don't know about in the game, but in the anime series, the dub of the anime series, he is voiced by the same voice actor as Dante from Devil May Cry.
Interesting.
Ruben Langdon.
So
that's interesting.
All right. Well, fingers crossed. You never know.
Yeah. And if not, maybe it'll have a demo on the Japanese PlayStation Store or something.
I mean, yeah. Next up, we have Arc System Works restructure announced in shareholder meeting. This is by Lucas White for Silicon Era. This probably isn't much of a surprise, considering how many releases we've seen lately, but Arc System Works has been growing. From developing multiple renowned fighting games to dipping into publishing and taking over some classic IP, we've seen a lot from the ArcSys brand. This week, the company held a shareholder meeting and announced some structural shifts to accommodate the growth and some future goals as well. The changes largely apply to Arc System Works' executive team as well as 4 major departments handling the company's diversifying output. The Arc System Works executive team as of June 8, 2020 is the following, and there's a graph. You can check the article for the full graph. I'm not gonna bother butchering.
Yeah, I just put this because I thought that was interesting. Because just when a company has a restructuring, I always think it's kind of interesting. Like, oh, how will this affect?
Well,
their output and all
this
that.
Isn't a restructuring because things are going bad. This is a restructuring because things are going well. So that's pretty interesting.
No. I'm just saying effect in general. I'm not saying like negatively affect.
Yeah. I mean, it's executive level, so I don't think much will change. Yeah. Do you want to take the Kingdom Hearts?
Just a thing that caught my eye. Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
So, Kingdom Hearts Dark Road introduces Xehanort and Master Ericus and teases 4 new characters. Erd, Hermod, Bragi, and Vor. These names just...
What did you expect? Really, what did you expect?
Well, there are no X's in them. Yet.
I mean, they're none of the organization members, so...
Yet.
No. Don't push it. Don't give them any ideas.
Give it time. This is by Sauermano over at Gamatsu. Square Enix has released new information and screenshots for Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, introducing returning characters Xehanort and Master Ericus, as well as teased new characters Erd, Hermod, Bragi, and Vor.
There we go again.
Xehanort, the strongest enemy in the Kingdom Hearts series, who always stood in the way of Sora and his friends. Why did this young boy become the Seeker of Darkness? That long journey will soon begin. And then a young Master Ericus who appears as Xehanort's companion. How did the pair form such a strongly connected relationship? Having played an important role in the series, please look forward to his role in this part of the story. Xehanort and Ericus. As young blade wielders in training. Keybladers. That works too. They work hard, but who's better at games? Look forward to the answer on release. And it's them sitting on a bench, and Ericus is like, "Wait, you've been talking about chess this whole time?" And then it shows just Erd, Hermod, Bragi, and Vor just are in a picture with young Ericus and Xehanort. And some, I'm assuming Tetsuya Nomura artwork.
Probably.
Kingdom Hearts Dark Road is a new Kingdom Hearts game that will be available within Kingdom Hearts Union Cross for iOS and Android. A release window is currently unannounced because previously it got delayed due to the pandemic. Or I can't remember if it was due to the pandemic or if it was just because they just needed more time.
But it was due to the pandemic.
Oh, yeah. And then also, in addition to that Kingdom Hearts thing, more Kingdom Hearts games will join Xbox Game Pass in June 2020, which I think they're available now.
Yeah, they're available now.
Yeah, they're available as of recording.
Let me double check just to be sure.
It says in this article, you don't even need to.
Okay.
On June 11th, 2020, which is today, Xbox One owners who subscribe will be able to play both Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 and 2.5 Remix and Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue via the service. So that's cool. And then Kingdom Hearts 3, Kingdom Hearts 3 has been on Game Pass since February.
Yeah, so pretty much every Kingdom Hearts game that should be
now playable on Xbox.
That should be willing to play on console is available. Okay, I'll take this one.
Yep, that's why I put it there.
Okay. Ikumi Nakamura plans to pitch new Okami game to former employer Capcom, and insists on Hideki Kamiya directing it. This is by Liam Doolin for Nintendo Live. If you're a fan of Okami, you might recall how a member of the original development team, Ikumi Nakamura, teased its possible return last year and even roped in Platinum Games' Hideki Kamiya. Well, they didn't tease it as much as... Anyway. Who of course served as the director. Now, in a recent interview with IGN Japan, she has revealed her plan is to pitch a new Okami title to Capcom once life returns to normal across the globe. As long as she quote unquote goes after it, she believes there's a good chance of Capcom greenlighting a sequel. While Nakamura says she wouldn't be particularly worried about the role she's assigned, she insists on the return of Kamiya, who is currently working on Bayonetta 3 and Project GG, a spiritual follow-up to Beautiful Joe and The Wonderful 101. This time last year, Nakamura was one of the many people who jumped on stage at E3 to talk about an upcoming release. Later on in the same year, she announced she would be leaving her role as creative director and art director at Tango Gameworks, Ghostwire Tokyo, to pursue other projects. Interestingly enough, I saw Jason Schreier tweet something about Nakamura. He said, if you compare Tokyo Ghostwire's original reveal with what they showed today during the PlayStation 5 event, you might deduce that that's the reason why Nakamura left, but that's all just supposition. There's no actual proof, and she never went on record to say why she left Tango Gameworks. Just thought it was interesting to mention.
Yeah, that was one of the... I mean, we'll get to it
later.
But that was one of the trailers in the PS5 event that I was kind of like, it looks cool, but it's not as cool as I originally wanted it to be. For Ghostwire Tokyo, I mean.
I for some reason thought it would be a third-person action game, so I wasn't expecting a first-person perspective.
Yeah, when I was watching the Kind of Funny React, everybody was like, oh, it's first person. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I didn't know people were expecting it to be third person. Yeah. I was just like, I didn't know what I was expecting from it. I was like, is this a horror game? Is this an action game? And then now we kind of know. Anyways, back to the actual topic of the thing, Okami.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be neat.
I mean, it's neat. And Capcom has been on the...
to put it simply.
And Capcom has been on the rise again with their output. So far, they haven't really made any misses. So, yeah, this could be something to look forward to. But it's nothing solid. It's not like she said it's definitely happening. And Capcom so far has not mentioned any desire to revisit Okami or Okami Den. So, who knows?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take out this story and then just do the last two.
Okay, cool.
So we can get into the main stuff here. So the next story is RPG maker MZ announced for PC, due out this summer by Saurumano of Reikamatsu. Publisher Dejika, I think that's how you pronounce it, Dejika Games, and developer Kadokawa Corporation have announced RPG Maker MZ, the latest entry in the RPG creation software. It will cost $1,000. No, I'm just kidding. It will launch for PC this summer with support for English, Japanese, French, Italian, German, Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, and Korean language options. Whew! And then there's an overview of the game via Steven. No programming knowledge required. A tool designed to make games. Create an original game with ease. Key features: map editor, character generation, a trove of assets, a database where you can adjust and test the game balance in relation to playable characters and enemies. Test play. Events. You can use event function to depict characters' conversations, movement across the map, the placement of treasure chests and other visuals, animation, plugins, and playing the game. So, there's a website you can check out. That's cool. I just got the most recent one, so I'm gonna hold off on getting this one because it's probably gonna be. Those RPG Maker games are expensive when they're not on sale.
Okay. Have you started making your own RPG yet? Like any assets?
No, I still have to play like half of the things it's inspired by.
Okay.
Or finish. I should say finish. Play and finish. A lot of stuff. So I just have that document.
Okay, no, I get it.
Still. I have not updated that document yet, but I might because of some of the stuff from the next story and some of the stuff announced in the PS5 thing today. So next story, new Zoids Wild game announced for Switch. This is also from Sauromano Akamatsu. Due out this winter in Japan. A new Zoids Wild game is in development for Switch, the latest issue of Weekly Jump reveals. It will launch this winter in Japan. Players will be able to modify and change the color of their Zoids. Other bigger new elements will also appear. Compared to the February 2019 release Zoids Wild King of Blast, graphics also seem to have improved. Further details, including official title, were not announced. So, we don't know. I'm thinking this will be an actual Zoids, either action game or RPG-like thing, because in the last Zoids game, which the Zoids Wild King of Blast, it's a fighting game. It's not bad. It's a nice little. I mean, it's not amazing or anything, but you can download a demo of it on the Japanese eShop. It's kind of cool. But before we got, there's this like apparently this really good Zoids game that was on Xbox, original Xbox, I think. And then there's a Zoids RPG on Game Boy Advance.
Okay.
So I'm excited to see that. I need to watch more Zoids, but a lot of the most Zoids series aren't officially streaming anywhere right now. And they used to be on like Tubi TV or like stuff like that, but they are not there.
I mean,
I don't know who owns the rights to them here.
Could you
think it's Hasbro?
Are the Blu-rays still available?
I don't think Zoids ever got on Blu-ray. At least not in.
That's interesting.
Not outside of Japan, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Zoids is no Gundam, that's for sure.
No, I get it.
Alright. Now it's time for the main topic, and I'm surprised we didn't get any listener questions for this. Surprised and also disappointed, but also whatever. Because this is going to be a little different, because we're going to there weren't that many Japanese developed games announced, so we're going to talk about like most of the things that were announced. So first, let's talk about the first elephant in the room, because there's a second one. What the console looks like. Do you want me to go through a rundown of what was announced today? No, let's talk about our impressions of the consoles.
Okay.
What the console looks like first, just to get that out of the way.
Okay, go ahead.
It looks like Seto Kaiba.
I mean, I guess if you think about the popular.
I don't like how it looks weird on its side, and the side picture I saw had the disc drive on the bottom, and I don't like that. I just don't like how the things, the white edges like protrude from it. If it was if it didn't have those protrusions, I think it would look a lot better.
I mean, then you.
But I'm not like hating on it.
Then you'd probably have to wait till they announce a slim version, because they're definitely going to be trimming that for the slim version.
I also don't know. Do we know the actual size of it?
Come again?
Do we know the actual size of it?
Mm-hmm. I don't think it'll be much larger than the current PlayStation 4 Slim. At least that's the impression I'm getting, but
yeah, I would hope. Yeah, I
mean,
hope so.
next to the controller, you can kind of guess how big it'll be. Maybe slightly bigger than the PlayStation 4. But yeah, it's a lot of hardware packed into a tiny box. It's a very striking design.
Two boxes.
Well, yeah, you have two different SKUs, or there will be two different SKUs, one with a disc tray and one without. That will be dubbed the digital version, and which will
do you think
probably be running a bit cheaper than the original version. Yeah.
We didn't get a price.
No, because
although somebody on Twitter did point out that the Switch didn't when it was at the first reveal event either.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a different company, I know, but
no, but we still have until holiday 2020 for them to be making reveals.
Yeah,
and there's plenty of time.
They probably have other games they haven't shown yet too.
Yeah, I've seen Jeff Grubb say. I think it was Jeff Grubb say that. There will be other third-party video games they'll be announcing, and that'll probably be about the right time to say that they're also revealing their price. But
and oh god, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought there. I don't know. I don't hate the design, but I don't love it.
I mean, you just saw it today. Maybe it'll have to grow on you.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. A lot of people are saying, like, yeah, maybe it'll just grow on. Because the people who are like, oh my god, it looks so good. I'm just like, it looks kind of weird.
I don't mind it. It's a very striking design. It's not a monolithic slab as with previous generations. It's
the Xbox fridge.
It's very different. It looks very different. It's pretty modern, pretty sexy. It's pretty cool, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have that many things about the. I don't like how I just can't really place it on its side, without the stand. And
you can place it on its side.
No, you have to use the stand though.
No, you don't. You can't place it.
Oh, in the image I saw, they were still using the stand.
Wait, I'll crop the picture I'm seeing here, because right next to the post there's one. Okay, stand by for Titanfall.
Oh, I still need to play that too.
Yeah, so as you can see, it's standing on its side, or laying on its side.
No, but not like that. There's another picture that I saw from a different angle where it was still on the stand. I guess we'll see.
Okay.
Anyways, that's not even that important.
I mean, it's still important. It's the first review
it's still important.
Of the hardware.
I wanted to get out of the way because it's like the weird thing to me, just talking about how the console looks, and it's just like, as long as it plays games, like that's like the main thing. I don't care that much about how it looks.
Okay.
And I know that's weird because I was just complaining about it, but it's like it's one of those things where it's like it's more like I don't understand why people are like so hyped for how it looks, but I'm just like, okay, it looks kind of weird. Okay.
I think you might be a contrarian. It's fine.
Well, I mean. It's just like I said, it's just the protrusions that really, like, just the kind of the shape. Like, I don't mind the white and black. That's cool. We haven't really seen that besides like on special edition consoles most of the time. So that's kind of neat. I mean, at least on the console itself. On the controller, I prefer all black. But.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. If you like
again, just a preference thing. Yeah. It's not a big deal. I'll still get it. Probably not at launch, but probably not that far from launch either, depending on what's coming out.
No one is crucifying you for your likes or dislikes. You'll be fine.
Also, I hated all the games in that presentation. No, I'm just kidding.
Shall we get into the games then?
Can we do this in order? Like in the actual order that they presented it?
That's gonna be tough because the blog post doesn't have it in order.
Did my CNET thing that I had? Let me check. Let me see if the CNET thing had it in order. Yeah, CNET has it in order. Okay, so going from the top, and like I said before, we're gonna go over pretty much all the games, except for Grand Theft Auto 5 because that's not on here, and I was kind of confused about that.
Wait, where's the CNET one? I don't see that link.
Here. Where the heck? Hang on.
Yep.
Oops.
Did you find it? Oh, there you go. Yeah, go ahead.
So it doesn't mention Grand Theft Auto 5, and I was kind of confused about that because I was like, wait, was it saying that it was a free for PlayStation players, or was it just the in-game money?
Okay, so GTA 5 online for PlayStation 4, anyone who owns that will be getting 1 million credits up until I think it was
PS5 launch?
Until the PS5 version launches, and until a certain point in 2020. 2021.
Yeah,
you can get GTA Online for free if you're on PlayStation 5.
Oh, okay.
And GTA 5.
Okay, because I was a little confused with the wording on that. I was like, wait.
Yeah, so you have 3 promotions going on. You have GTA 4 online players getting $1 million every month until the release of GTA 5 for PlayStation 5. And that's the second announcement. PlayStation 5 is also getting a version of GTA 5. And GTA 5 online will be free for PlayStation 5 owners up until a certain point in 2021.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that was just kind of an old game. I guess they wanted to get out of the way before they got into the new stuff.
Not necessarily, because you have to remember, GTA 5 is the best-selling media product.
That's true.
By a lot. So getting it on PlayStation 5 and getting the GTA Online feature also on PlayStation 5 will definitely be attracting players who are kind of looking for something to buy around Christmas time. So you have to look at it like that.
And then, so the first new thing announced was Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is... We don't know where... Most people are hypothesizing that this will be like... kind of like infamous Second Son First Light, where it's like a smaller standalone DLC type thing. Because it's slated for this year, and it's not going to be a full-on sequel. Like, there's no way it's a full-on sequel if it's supposed to come out this year.
I mean, why isn't it possible to have a sequel out this soon?
It's not that it's not possible. It's just I just feel like it's unlikely because of how long game development takes.
I mean,
unless they started this like right after the first one came out.
I mean, they've been focus testing the Spider-Man engine on PS5 hardware.
That is true.
For a while now, so I think it's.
But then that's also another reason why it could be a smaller game.
It's possible, but I guess we'll have to see until.
Again, it's just a theory. A game theory. No, I'm just kidding.
I guess we'll have to see until release hits us sooner. I'm
actually really excited for that because Spider-Man was my number 2 or number 3 game of the year for 2018. And with, after the release of Into the Spider-Verse, and now Miles Morales is in like popular culture a lot more. Like this was pretty huge. Like I was on various Discords, and like so many people were excited.
Yeah,
just that he was already going to be playable. Because a lot of people thought, like me, I thought we were going to have to wait until like the midpoint of the full sequel to play as him.
Yeah. I think it was mentioned kind of funny Games Daily last week that they thought the sequel to the Spider-Man game would have you switching between Peter and Miles multiple times during the game.
I think that if the Spider-Man Miles Morales is more of like a prologue that leads into the sequel, I think the full sequel could have that.
Probably.
And then I saw somebody say, well, they could be interesting because they could do what somebody could do is just do different shorter games on different Spider-Man. So Miles Morales and then Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, and like
it's possible, but I think
that's the kind of way out there theory that would just be really cool.
Yeah, but they still have I don't want to spoil it. There are certain threads from the first game that they still have to resolve. So. Oh,
you mean yeah.
I think
some people are theorizing that maybe that ending part has to do with why Miles is playable.
Probably. We'll see. So as soon as we know more, you'll also know more.
Yeah. Gran Turismo 7, I'm not really into racing game. Well, not those. I mean, it's not a kart racers, okay, but like not into that kind of stuff. So I don't really have any input on that.
What do you have against racing cars?
Nothing. I'm just not into them.
Okay. I mean, I'm looking forward to it because Polyphony Digital are masters when it comes to visual fidelity.
Oh, this is not actually in order. This is in alphabetical order.
Yeah. So Polyphony Digital, they're masters of their craft, and seeing them go to work on PlayStation 5 with Gran Turismo 7 is a sight to behold. So, if anything, you can be certain that Gran Turismo 7 will be a showcase of.
Where is Gran Turismo developed?
In Japan.
Yeah, no, because I didn't know that, and I saw that one developer, and he was speaking Japanese. I was like, I did not know that.
You didn't really? It's always been developed in Japan.
I had no idea.
Huh. I mean, Forza is developed in Europe.
Yeah, I think that's what I just keep getting it confused with.
And I think most of the racing games are also developed in Europe. Gran Turismo and Sega GT and others, they were prominently made by Japanese companies, etc.
Yeah. And then we have a kind of not a re-reveal, but like some more gameplay footage of Godfall, which I think looks really cool. It's that one. It was announced before it was the first PlayStation 5 game announced at last year's Game Awards.
This being a looter hack and slash game, it'll probably tide you over until next year when the other games come out. So yeah, I see myself sinking a lot of time into Godfall. I think if I don't have anything else to play at the time. But on its own merits, it does look cool. But yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how the story plays out and how it all fits together.
Then we have, this is not in the order I thought it was, as I said before. Then we have, this was a big announcement. It was very heavily rumored before, is the Demon Souls remake.
Yeah.
By Bluepoint. Which I see a lot of fans are actually kind of bummed out because it loses, because of how it looks graphically more colorful, it loses some of the grittiness that the original had. Some of the aesthetic.
I get it. The art direction doesn't seem to gel well with Miyazaki and From Software's current style.
But here's the thing: I love how it looks.
Yeah, I mean,
So crucify me all you want.
that's besides the point. But it doesn't look like the games From Software has been making since Demon's Souls.
That's true. It's not as dark. It's a little too colorful. It's not as like dark, and it doesn't feel quite as dark and depressing.
Well, I wouldn't say it looks that colorful at all.
No, no, but more colorful than you would expect from like a
but
like brighter for sure.
I also didn't see From Software's name anywhere in that reveal trailer. Only Bluepoint and Japan Studio. So maybe they're trying to rebrand this into a different direction. Art-wise, could be.
Yeah, that's possible. I'm still excited. Like, it still looks cool. Although all we have to go off of is a cinematic, right?
Yeah. So next up.
Pretty sure that was all cinematic.
Come again? You were breaking off.
It was just a cinematic, right? We didn't see any actual gameplay.
The Demon's Souls?
Yeah.
There was.
Yeah, just read.
It was in engine.
I skimmed through it.
It was in engine, so not just cutscenes.
It was in engine, but it wasn't really any gameplay.
Not really, no.
Still.
And
So I'd hold out to wait for.
I've also seen mentioned that
see what that looks like.
The game will have two modes, like performance mode and.
Oh, the fractured mode.
Yeah. So no, I think that's something different, but you'll have the option of prioritizing frame rate, and the other would be prioritizing the fidelity. So you have options.
Yeah. I think Bluepoint does good work. Like, they did a really good job on the Shadow of the Colossus remake, I think. So I'm actually pretty excited for this Demon's Souls game. Next we have Ghostwire Tokyo, which we mentioned earlier. And it's a third-person action game, which looks kind of cool, but also, like, I don't know, something about it, I didn't think it looked that great.
Maybe you have to get your hands on it to get a real feel for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm because I'm like I like the concept of this, but something about it I just don't like, and I'm not sure what it is.
I think we said it earlier. It doesn't really match the expectation that was set during the reveal, because I was expecting this to be a third-person action game, but this turns out to be a first-person action game, and it looks unique enough, and I'm pretty curious to see how it plays.
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto 5, we already talked about that. Project Athia?
Yeah.
Is it Athia or Athia? I don't know.
To be determined. I also saw on Twitter that Gary Whitta is also working on this with a whole bunch of other people. So that's interesting.
You know what's funny? I was actually, because he was teasing an announcement, I was actually kind of disappointed that it was this. Not that, this game looks great, but I was disappointed that this was his announcement, because I thought it was going to be about his Last Starfighter screenplay getting greenlit.
The actual announcement was him working on something Star Wars again.
Oh,
yeah.
It wasn't Project Athia?
No, he announced that he's working on Project Athia, but the announcement that he was teasing was an Empire Strikes Back from a certain point of view novel, which is a collection of
from a certain point of view
short stories around the time of Empire Strikes Back.
And also, just that Joker short story that he wrote with Greg Miller just came out in that 80th anniversary. Thing.
Yeah.
Collection. So I actually read it. It's very good.
Yeah, Project Athia is looking very different from what we're used to from Square Enix. Everyone expected this to be.
I mean, but is it the North American Square Enix?
No, it's Luminous Studios. Luminous Studios, which was headed by Hajime Tabata when they were doing.
Yeah, right. That's why I recognize
it.
I remember Imran Khan saying that. Okay, so Final Fantasy 16. This is the game people thought was Final Fantasy 16.
I was about to say that. So I don't know. People got their wires crossed, or expectations were set falsely. But it looks.
The beginning actually reminded me of that tech demo. The
Agni's Philosophy.
Yeah, it actually the very beginning kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, I was also thinking the same. They probably also took some inspiration from that, because Luminous Studio also did work on that, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's interesting because Luminous Studios was going to be working on 3 more DLC pieces for Final Fantasy 15, but they canceled all of that for this. So it's interesting to see how.
Understandable.
No. Final Fantasy 15 made them a lot of money, whether you like it or not.
No, I mean, just after what 15. Ugh.
No.
I don't want to get into that.
The DLC improved a lot. I mean, it feels more like a complete game.
But not enough.
Well, that's debatable. But the fact that they gave up those DLC to work on Project Athia speaks a lot about Square Enix's faith in Project Athia. So I'm definitely curious to see what they think is going to be the next project.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see more about that one. Well, I'm really excited to see more about most of these, to be honest. Then we got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So I'm wondering, does Insomniac have like 2 separate studios? I'm wondering.
It could be. They're pretty.
Because if not, that's another reason I would think the Miles Morales thing would be a smaller game.
But like I said, we don't know. The closer we get to release, the more we'll know for sure.
The more information will be revealed. But so I thought the Ratchet and Clank reboot from 2016. I loved it visually. That like DreamWorks-ish animation style. Gameplay wise, very mediocre to me.
Have you never played a Ratchet and Clank before?
No, but I have a really good friend who's played all of them, and he felt the same way. He's like, no, I actually understand where you're coming from with that. But this one looks like it'll be a lot more fun.
Well, yeah, it's also due to the new hardware
Being a sequel.
the hardware. The PlayStation 5 running on an SSD makes loading data much quicker. So that's why you saw them jumping through portals, and that was also like
so fast through different dimensions. Oh god, that was so crazy, but so cool.
It was kind of a tech demo or a proof of concept to show you, the audience, how quickly data will be loading from one instance to another. Pretty seamless, I should say. You won't be seeing any hidden loading screens or elevator rides, so this makes some creative endeavors possible on PlayStation 5 that weren't possible on PlayStation 4.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, this is like it's a sequel to the Ratchet and Clank from 2016, and I guess we didn't get a lot of plot synopsis, but I guess the dimensions are like tearing apart.
Alternate dimensions, alternate timelines, fun sci-fi hijinks.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
Yeah, and there was also what caught a lot of people's eyes that were there was a female. Crap, I forgot the name of his species.
Loxo, Wombat, Ratchet, and Clank. Lotso? No.
Lombax.
Lombax, yeah.
Lombax. Yeah, there was a white-furred female Lombax in one of the dimensions that Clank went into when he got separated from Ratchet, and that seemed to catch a lot of people's eye. They were like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Because I guess isn't Ratchet supposed to be like the last one of his kind or something?
Yeah, but
at least in his dimension.
Alternate dimensions or timelines can mean so much for the story.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy how this is just like the sequel to the first game, where like you would think they would wait a while. Like, no, we're going all in on this.
Well, I mean, the Ratchet and Clank reboot or remake was them tackling the game after so long again, and that probably energized them to set up a new story and a new game.
Yeah. Then we got Returnal.
Oh, you're missing one. Stray.
That's a. No, that's after this one. This is how this one is ordered.
Which one are you reading? The CNET one?
I'm using the CNET one. Is it in a different order for you?
Weird.
That's really weird. Hold on, let me refresh it.
Go on.
No, it's still... That's weird. Huh. Anyways, Returnal is this... So it was this lady on this planet that every time she wakes up, the planet keeps changing. People were... When I was watching the Kind of Funny live reacts, Andy was like, "Oh, is this Live, Die, Repeat?" That one, Tom Cruise movie based on a manga. I don't think it was just like a teaser trailer, right? And it's like it's a third-person shooter, third-person sci-fi shooter.
I think we can surmise from the trailer that it'll be kind of like a roguelike, that every time you die, something changes about your environment, maybe. But
it's actually part of the story.
But what I'm most hyped about is that Housemarque was able to translate their 2D gameplay to a 3D third-person space, and that was really cool.
I looked up Housemarque.
Yeah. So it was really cool to see how the character was behaving in the game world.
Because what was the game they made before?
Matterfall, I think. They made Resogun.
Was it Matterfall?
Next Machina.
Yeah, Resogun. Yeah. That was it. And I was like, wait, you mean the? I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. So
just seeing like an indie studio go from one thing to another like that is just crazy.
I mean, they've said it multiple times before the reveal that the PlayStation 5 allows them so much room to play with in their games, gives them so much power. So what was possible on PS4, or what wasn't possible on PS4, is now finally possible on PS5.
Yeah, so we didn't get that much information about it, just a trailer and some glimpses of gameplay. But it seems like a really cool concept. Yeah. A lot of these seems like cool concepts, and we have to wait for more info. But they're cool.
Yeah, definitely.
They're definitely cool. This is the most hyped I've been in a while. Even though we don't have E3 in the traditional sense, which if we did, I'd be in LA right now.
Yeah.
But. It's nice that we can still get these, insane moments, even though we have a lot of people who would normally be together separated because of the current global situation. Anyway, next we have Stray, which is you play as a cat in a cyberpunk-ish...
Yeah, you're a cat that befriends an android, and that sets up the game. And...
I didn't even pick up on that.
If it's any indication by Annapurna's interactive track record, we're in for a very good time. Maybe a bit brief, but it's definitely going to be a good time.
I was like, I said to someone, no, they could have called it Cyberpur.
No, did you see how they changed their Twitter handle to Annapurna?
Oh, I didn't see that. On Twitter?
Yeah. That was clever.
And then, so that's a neat little thing. Playing as cats. Cats are great. Dogs are good too.
Sure.
Animals are just cool, man.
Definitely.
Then next we have, Sumo Digital moving on from Snake Pass to Sackboy. So Sackboy is getting... basically his own platform. I mean, okay, I guess Little Big Planet, but like
He always had his own planet.
you know what I mean. He's kind of getting his own, but you know what I mean, right?
He's being put in the spotlight. It's not a Little Big Planet game.
No, that's why it's called Sackboy. Yeah.
Yeah, on its own, it's a Sackboy game, a big adventure game for Sackboy.
And people were comparing it to Super Mario 3D World. I've never played that one, so
Yeah, it makes sense from what I've seen. But I'm thinking that this game will feature much more creativity in how you tackle the game and the levels. So
yeah,
it's looking to be a fun time.
yeah. I don't know if that's a thing that would really interest me, but it looks fun. Definitely looks fun.
I think it'll interest you.
I mean, like over the other games, kind of like that's one of those things that like maybe I'll play it, but it's like it's not like a oh my god I want to play that so bad, you know, that kind of thing. Like I need. It's not an I need to play that. It's like a oh I play that.
Have you played any of the other Little Big Planet games before?
Let's say I played Big Planet 2 because it came with my PS3.
Okay.
And then next we got Destruction All-Stars, which is this like car battle game that for some reason is not a Twisted Metal sequel.
Burnout and Rocket League had a baby.
And you throw a hint of Twisted Metal in there.
I mean, much less blood, guts, and grim dark.
No, yeah, that's why I said a hint of it. Because like there's still cars with weapons and stuff. Although it seems like you can also jump out of the car. Although this is just a cinematic.
Yeah, it's looking like you'll have heroes and hero abilities a la Overwatch. So it'll be possibly a fun time.
Yeah. Again, not like super interested in this, but the concept seems cool.
I'm willing to play this. It looks like a good party game.
Again, all we saw was the cinematic too, so we don't know all that much about that. And then the next one we have is Kana Bridge of Spirits, which this one looks so cool. It actually gave me some like How to Train Your Dragon vibes with the little black creatures that are in it.
I was thinking more Pikmin.
No, I just mean because of their faces, not because of Pikmin after like the initial reveal of the little creatures. It reminded me, but then when they're running around, so it's about this girl with like she has a staff that can also turn into like a light bow.
It's
and she controls these little
more the crystal that lends her that power.
Yeah, and then she part of the gameplay is she can control these little black creatures, kind of like Pikmin. And I don't really know the plot of the game. It seems like one of those like evil stuff is happening and you have to stop it.
It's more like she has to find her place in the world and discover her own destiny. Pretty standard.
I mean, they could be both. Yeah. Third-person action adventure game, which looks really fun. It's nice that it's like a new IP. This is by Ember Labs. I don't know if they've done anything else.
As far as I can tell, they're a pretty new studio.
Ember Labs games. This says they're when I search up Ember Labs, it's an animation studio.
Which makes sense when you look at the cinematics.
Yeah. That's really interesting. That could be really cool then. Like just an animation studio that decided, hey, let's work on a game this time to just show off their visual fidelity or whatever. Yeah, so Kana Bridge of Spirits. I almost said and the Bridge of Spirits because freaking Andy Cortez, or no, not Andy. Blessing. It was Blessing who said on the Kind of Funny thing. He said, "Oh, getting real Attack in the Power of Juju vibes," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I can see that." But yeah, Kena Bridge of Spirits, that also seems super cool. Sorry, we didn't really get release dates for most of these, or even years. They were just kind of announced. And then we have Goodbye Volcano High, which is like
it's like dinosaur.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, Oxenfree? Okay, I was gonna say like I almost said dinosaur dating sim, and I'm like, oh, we don't actually know if it's a dating sim.
Well, there's some romance in it. I think I saw the lead. Was it the lead?
I just called it Anime Dinosaur High School.
I wouldn't call it anime necessarily.
It's definitely anime inspired with how some of the faces look.
Yeah, I guess. But it looks cool. I'm looking forward to it. This is actually one of my
It's called Goodbye Volcano
most anticipated
High,
games for PS5. Yeah.
Really? I think it looks interesting. It'll be it'll be a cool game to play, but since it was just like a story bit we got and not actual gameplay, I want to see like what it actually is, whether it's like a visual novel type thing or like a...
No, I get it, but it's giving me Oxenfree and Life is Strange vibes, so that alone is enough for me to put it on my most anticipated list.
Personally, I just really like dinosaurs, so I'd totally get it too. Resident Evil 8 we have next by Capcom. There was a trailer, and it's had some of the rumors that have been going around about how it had like werewolves and other stuff, and that is called Resident Evil 8 Village.
It's actually just called Resident Evil Village. The Roman numeral for 8 is hidden in the logo for Village. So.
Well, then it would be called Shouldn't it be called Resident Evil 8 Lidge?
No.
And wait, so there were like werewolves in it, and then they revealed Chris Redfield at the end. Was he like the bad guy?
No, I think I saw him shoot a child with a silenced gun, but as to why.
So is that what happened? That's why they were like, why?
Yeah, more or less. But why that happened, I don't know. I guess we'll see it in the game. It is a sequel to Resident Evil 7.
It takes place a couple years late after Resident Evil 7.
As Ethan again. And yeah, it's looking great. It's giving me Resident Evil 4 vibes. The whole village aesthetic. It's pretty cool. Some gothic castles for good measure. And it's looking like a good time.
Oh, this article doesn't even have everything.
No, it doesn't.
It ends with NBA 2K21, which that's cool, a new NBA 2K game. I haven't played one in like 10 years.
I mean, the graphics are very impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah.
But then again, 2K always...
We also got... Oh, here we go. I'll go to the blog. We also...
Yeah.
I'm going to save that one for a little later.
Okay. Do you want me to run through everything we missed?
I have the PlayStation blog up.
Yeah, I do too.
We got yeah, let's get this one out of the way. Bug Snacks.
I don't know what to make of
a whimsical narrative-driven adventure from the creators of Octodad. Investigate the mysterious Snacktooth Island, home of the legendary half-bug, half-snack creatures, and you play as like these weird creatures, and you eat weird creatures, and then you become part... Like, there are these strawberries, bugs, and then your hand becomes a strawberry, and... what?
It's... I don't know. We need to see more before we can say whether this will be worth it or not.
It's the weirdest thing, and I love it.
Nah. I need to see more. I think you missed one of the biggest announcements for this event.
I was gonna wait on that.
Okay.
If you're talking about, well, I missed several, but this is a different order, so I'm trying to see what we talked about and what we didn't.
Okay. Go ahead.
What is Jet the Far Shore? Was that the other like space looking one?
It's by the Super Brothers team
that's
and
what
Pine
it says.
Scented.
The one from Super Brothers and Pine Scented.
Yeah,
Pine Scented is a great name.
I see it as a sort of
a bittersweet interstellar
story.
trip to a mythic. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was the one with the sepia
a trip to a mythic. Yeah. Mythic oceanic planet in a narrative-driven action-adventure featuring an emotional mix of storytelling and world exploration.
Oh,
that was kind of... Oh, yeah, you were doing that for me, too. So that's why I was like, what's going on? Okay. So Jet the Far Shore.
Yeah, it's looking cool. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited for it. It's
that's another one I'm just not different. That into, but it looks neat. Looks like kind of relaxing.
It's also on top of my most anticipated list.
Then we have Little Devil Inside. That was a weird looking one.
Also on my most anticipated list.
You know what's funny is so I don't know how Little Devil Inside was like this cartoony. I don't know how to explain it. It was like a third-person action game, right?
Yeah, it's a third-person action game. Think Bloodborne, but cuter and more forgiving. And with chibi characters. That would not be
not exactly chibi, but like a very unique style of animation.
Yeah, I was gonna say they wouldn't look out of place in a Victorian pop-up book or storybook.
Yeah, well, it says set in the Victorian-like era, embark on dangerous missions to gain evidence and findings for your employer, a mysterious professor.
So it's looking very fun and goofy, and I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, do you notice so what's funny is when he was when the main character, he was like surfing on like the sand penguin or whatever it was. So I have just been recently started my rewatch of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I'm like, wait, was that dude just penguin sledding? and somebody was like, yes.
Great minds.
Yeah. So that's a neat one. We got Oddworld Soulstorm, a brand new Oddworld game.
Yeah.
A major visual and cinematic lead for the celebrated series, with intelligent new gameplay mechanics and twisted new devices to enable explosive deviousness from Oddworld inhabitants. Oddworld's Soulstorm's scope and scale are larger than we have tackled before. We plan to use PS5's stunning graphic fidelity, mind-blowing 3D audio, and the DualSense controller to enhance our storytelling and artistic abilities to bring you closer to the game and to create an even deeper, emotional Oddworld experience. Ooh.
You didn't have to read it all.
That was, I wanted to. So, you know what's funny is that the narration, when the trailer started, sounded a lot like the narration from the Oddworld game I had for PS1, which was, I think it was Abe's Exodus.
Yeah,
so I wonder if...
It's a sequel to that.
But like, I thought it was a remake at first, because of the dialogue was like so similar. I was like, wait a minute, I've heard this before.
No, I think
maybe it is the same lines.
I think
don't know.
Say it was a remake or a remaster if that was the case, but it really looked like a sequel. Yeah.
Then we got this game that I'm really hyped for. That I didn't know there was a trailer for this.
No, there wasn't. They mentioned it later.
They mentioned they had like a 2-second clip of it at the end.
I saw a tweet about it, but I didn't see it in the presser properly.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that one. It was announced the Pathless from Giant Squid / Annapurna, which was originally announced in 2018 at the Game Awards. You're a person with like an arrow and you're fighting. I don't know. I think it's one of those games where you're fighting against stuff that's corrupting nature or something like that.
Think about Journey, but with combat.
I wouldn't say it's Journey, though. But
the visual from
the Mythic Tale... Yeah, the visuals, yeah. Journey and Abzu, yeah. the mythic tale of an archer and an eagle in a vast forest who venture to a mystical island to dispel a curse of darkness. Yeah, see. I'm surprised we haven't heard much about that. Like, you hear something about it here and there, and then we don't really hear much. I hope that comes out this year.
Game development is a tough business, and it takes time to make good art.
Yeah.
And with this pandemic, everything's slow to a crawl.
Everything's just been crazy. Then we have Solar Ash from Heart Machine, the people who behind a Hyperlight Drifter and Annapurna. A journey through a surreal and vivid world filled with mystery, endearing characters, and massive enemy encounters across a vast open world. This is like a three-dimensional thing, unlike Hyperlight Drifter, which is a very unique sprite-based art style. Yeah. Did you ever play Hyperlight Drifter?
No, but I've seen enough of it. I do own it.
I have it. I have it, but I just couldn't get into it because it's hard to... Because I know the whole thing is you're supposed to figure out yourself where to go and all that kind of stuff, but it's one of those games where there's no dialogue.
There's no shame in using a guide.
So it's like... No, I know. It could just get... It's one of those games that can get confusing in that way, and I'm just not that into it. This one, though, Solar Ash, looks really cool. I'm like, okay, this seems more of a thing I can get behind.
It's probably because it's a third-person game.
Yeah. Although I don't mind sprite-based top-down graphics or anything. It's just like...
No, but it makes navigating the game world easier, especially if there are so many unknowns in the game world, and especially if you have to figure out your own path through the story. Having full control of your environment or looking about your environment in a third-person perspective might help that.
Yeah. And then we had Hitman 3. I've never really played a Hitman game.
Oh, it's pretty fun.
I have one of them on my PS4 library.
It's the first one that was free with PlayStation Plus.
I believe so. Yeah, I hear those ones are pretty fun, so I might try them because people were pretty excited for this, and I was surprised. Hitman is one of those series that I don't hear people talk about it like. It's one of the... I don't know how to say this without sounding...
What do you want to say? Just say it.
I don't hear about it that often, but when I do hear about it, people are like, oh, Hitman's so good. You know, it's one of those games you don't hear about as often as other stuff, but when you do hear about it, it's always positive.
I mean, when Hitman 1 and 2 came out, I saw a lot of it on my timeline, so might be...
Well, yeah, at release you hear a lot about it, but I mean, like... I guess. I just feel like I don't hear about it as much as other big games.
Well, it's not one...
Like that are constantly in a conversation.
It's not one of the bigger AAA titles, and Hitman as a franchise is pretty indie now, because IO Interactive is doing the development and publishing themselves since they split with Square Enix.
Yeah.
So that might be why their profile is a lot smaller than it used to be. Because back in the day, it used to be a more popular franchise, I'd say. So that's maybe why you're not hearing so much about it now.
Yeah, I might have to go back and try the first one again. Then we got Deathloop. Jason, can we talk about Deathloop? I've been dying to talk about Deathloop. We need to talk about Deathloop. Deathloop.
I mean, were you going to talk about Deathloop? Because I think you're going to be talking about Deathloop.
Oh my god. It's like Dishonored, but with like... You don't have to be stealthy because the main mechanic is kind of dying all the time, and it's like a 1970s film almost, and just oh god.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna miss the stealthy aspect of gameplay because that's how I usually play these. What do they call it?
I only do stealth if I absolutely have to.
What do they call these types of games? Systemic games? No. Something.
Guns blazing.
No, it's it started with System Shock, and Bioshock is one of them. Deus Ex.
Stealth shooters?
No.
I don't know.
Anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna miss the stealth aspect of it all. What I also saw on Twitter, I think it was Imran Khan that said it, that they added the death and restart loop into the gameplay, and that makes it clever because when it comes to these games, people are prone to reloading saves continuously because they want to have a perfect gameplay loop or a game run for a specific ending or specific goal within the game. So it's pretty clever that they incorporated this into the game design itself.
It says, this is from Arcane Studios, it says, with stunning and stylish environments, memorable combat encounters, and the freedom to tackle each mission at any pace with any approach you choose, this is Arcane like you've never seen or felt it before. Built with next-gen in mind, Deathloop is being developed for a new generation of hardware and will launch on console exclusively for the PlayStation 5. Oh, I did not know that. I mean, timed exclusive? Or like...
I mean, it says it will launch on console
Bethesda
exclusively for PlayStation 5, so that could maybe indicate that it is a timed exclusive, but we don't know.
Yeah, no, I love the Dishonored games, so I'm really excited
They're
for
also
this.
on sale or at the time of recording this podcast on the
on sale on what?
Store.
Oh, okay. Yes, I recommend all three of... Well, yeah, all three of them.
Well, there are only 2 Dishonored games.
Okay, 2... Well, the third one can be played as a standalone title.
I guess.
Death of the Outsider. But yeah, Deathloop just is... Can you tell I'm excited about Deathloop?
Are you going to be talking about Deathloop? Because I think you're going to be talking about Deathloop.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. I can't wait until we see more, and then I can actually play it. Then we have something called Pragmata from Capcom. What was that one again?
It was the one with the astronaut and the little android-esque girl.
Oh, the other one with the astronaut.
Yeah. It was...
The one that people were like, oh, is this like Death Stranding or something?
Yeah. I thought it was Death Stranding when I saw it, but then I saw the little girl, and then I quickly thought, hey, that looks like the Resident Evil engine. So, yeah.
And a holographic cat?
Yeah, so it's pretty abstract now. We haven't seen gameplay and no plot details, so I guess time will tell.
Yeah, it's a very strange one. And then I don't think I skipped anything except for this last one, which I'm wearing the shirt I got at PSX 2017 for the first game, Horizon 2 Forbidden West. I did not think this would be announced today.
Neither did I. I thought it was too early. Like, this would probably be into year 1 of the PS5, but
yeah,
it's pretty great that we're seeing it now.
And so, you know, it has Aloy, and she's actually in a different area. She's west. It's called Horizon 2 Forbidden West, or just Horizon Forbidden West, and it has a little 2 in the title image. And it shows her fighting some new, like exploring new environments, fighting some new enemies, and also encountering a different tribe. And also there was a giant robot elephant at the end, and that was awesome.
I think it was...
I was like...
a giant woolly mammoth or mastodon. Not just an elephant.
That makes it even better.
Yeah. To go ham.
It's like, I love Horizon, and I'm like, okay, you had me a sequel, but then with that thing, is like, okay, day one.
Well, I also really like Horizon.
I mean, my game is partially inspired by Horizon for a reason.
Okay. I really like Horizon Zero Dawn. I was kind of a bit less enthused about the gameplay and the systems and how the NPCs operated in the world. So I'm kind of excited to see how an expanded scope could benefit all of that.
Yeah,
I'm
for
pretty
sure.
hyped for it. It looks really gorgeous. I think this is the most beautiful game we've ever seen. And this is just the start
The what?
of the PS5, so just
The most what game we've ever seen? I didn't catch
the
that.
most beautiful game we've ever seen.
Oh,
And if this is just the start of PS5, who knows what we'll be able to see within 5 to 10 years.
I mean, I think we're gonna have a different console in 10 years.
No, but then we'll be at the end of the life cycle of PlayStation 5. That's what I mean.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Cause like, if I look at, sometimes I look back at and compare like Kingdom Hearts 1 in comparison to Kingdom Hearts 2. It's like, it blows my mind how much the graphics improved.
Yeah, because they'll be able to get more out of it, streamline it.
Yeah, because they'll know how to do everything. They'll be used to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, Horizon is.
I think
awesome.
that was all of it.
I don't know if it's
We've
on
done it.
sale right now, but
Which one?
did you play the Horizon DLC? There was only one, right?
Which game are you talking about? You cut out.
The Horizon DLC.
Oh, you mean
I forgot the name of it. Yeah, Frozen Wilds.
I don't know if it's on sale at the moment, but
There's a complete edition that I think is usually on sale now.
yeah. But sometimes they also have DLC sales going on, so you could just
And then
pick it up there.
it wasn't confirmed that Horizon is coming to PC, right?
It was confirmed, but not announced during this conference.
Yeah, so Horizon, the first one at least,
Yeah, the first one.
will be coming to PC.
Yeah.
Also, it wasn't in the event, but I just felt like I wanted to add this because you mentioned it a couple podcasts ago. Control will also be coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
Although I think that was known. Like, I feel like that, like, people were like, yeah, that's gotta be on the next gen consoles because of how it doesn't run so well on current gen
but
consoles.
it was assumed.
Yeah, it was assumed. It was expected.
Today came confirmation that a PS5 and Xbox Series One X port is incoming.
Yeah, so overall, I think that was a really good, solid presentation.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think it went better than Xbox's reveal of their slate because it was a healthy mix of third party, second party, and first party, and especially first party.
I feel like Xbox's reveal was more like not the big reveal they hyped it up to be.
Yeah, they were kind of.
That's going to be the thing we have in July.
Yeah, they were kind of intent on showing, hey, look at all this third-party support we have, and look at all these new kinds of games and gameplay experiences we have. Because I've seen some talk about it online that when people compare Xbox exclusives to PlayStation exclusives, you have much more variety with the Xbox exclusives, even if there are less of Xbox exclusives in comparison to PlayStation exclusives.
I thought there aren't any Xbox exclusives anymore.
No, there are, but not so much in number, but varied in gameplay. So in the long run, Xbox might still come out on top.
Yeah. Well,
I guess holiday 2020.
Yeah, and remember, we still have plenty of stuff to go because there is. I sound like an E3. I guess maybe someday. Well, maybe not E3, but whatever
We
we
still have
have
6 months to go.
after this pandemic happens.
Plenty of time to announce big things.
No, I was gonna say, and remember, we still have plenty of summer gaming events. We got the IGN Summer of Games still going on.
Yeah.
We got Summer Games Fest still going on. GameSpot Play for All. We got Anime Expo digital event coming up.
PC Gamer, Games
oh god,
Radar,
what's it called?
Future.
PC Gamer, Games Radar. The Japan indie one that I forget the name of.
There's a lot.
Gamescom over in August.
There's a lot.
Yeah, so we're going to be getting a lot of information in the next few months, and it's going to be great. And you can expect us to cover at least some of it here. We're not always going to cover, Western games because we focus on Japanese games, but
I mean, it was a PlayStation 5.
look forward to some of our future guests, so we can have some input on that, some extra input on it.
Okay, I guess that wraps it up. This has been Erroll and Jason.
Wait, I have been? No, I'm just kidding.
We are your hosts for the In From Japan podcast. You can find our handles in the description. Please like and subscribe. Yep. Give us feedback. Give us reviews. And I guess we'll
keep playing games and staying safe.
And I guess we'll see you next week.
Oh yeah.
Okay.